Start with, I'd mentioned what's happening at page 3 of the Star this morning, so no need to go over that. Kev's not exactly a ringing endorsement from Louis Walsh this morning about his participation in Dancing on Ice. But on the back page, it's Wreck and Ruin, which is a story that runs across a lot of the back pages this morning, and indeed on the front pages as well. Stars in road drama, demolition derby, Irish hero Keogh's career in doubt after late night car crash. And on the back, Paul Lennon spares no punches for Richard Keogh here, saying that he will never play for club or country again after sustaining a serious knee injury in a car crash. This was a story that developed yesterday, when Richard Keogh and 2 of his Derby teammates were on a sanctioned night out and stayed on a little bit longer than they were due to, and a couple of them are facing a couple of serious charges for drink driving. And Richard Keogh on the injury front has done some serious damage to his knee. He's out for the rest of the season. He's going to miss some very crucial games from an Irish perspective. He's 33 years of age, and the consensus, Kev, is that this could be the end of his, whatever about his club career, this looks likely the end of his international career. Yeah,
33, is he 34 next year? So, yeah, it's a dreadful story, isn't it? That's the thing.
He's been an idiot as well, is the thing. This is
he has,
and his club mates.
Yeah, they all have, and you cannot condone what's happened. He's let himself and the club down badly, seriously badly here. And the one thing that's always come back to me, I was with Richard for a very short time when I signed for Coventry, right at the end of my career, and he was just then in the midst of the move to Derby. So we had a couple of weeks in pre-season. Tremendous attitude, tremendously well respected by every one of his teammates. That's the message that's come back to me in relation to international teammates and at Derby. And he's had a brilliant career at Derby, and it's just sad that most people now, this is the only thing they'll probably be remembered for. And yeah, taking the injury aside, just we all know the effects of drink driving. This is just, it's idiotic off the scale. When I first read the story, I thought it was the following day where they'd been out having a drink and it had happened the following day. So for them to do what they've done, no, it's a crazy story. It really is a crazy story. Yeah.
Dan McDonald describes it actually in exactly those terms in his Indo piece this morning, that his career will be seen in 2 parts, pre-Tuesday and post-Tuesday, and he's got no doubt a tough few weeks ahead, but certainly in the injury front from an Irish point of view, and it's something we'll come back to in a bit more detail later on, leaves Mick McCarthy with a lot of with some serious headaches. Joe expects a fair deal, writes Michael Scully as well here. This is obviously the reaction to the press conference from Japan during the week's end, the Cian Healy, and then backed up by Jamie Joseph, to be fair, the Japan head coach, that the Ireland scrummaging was frequently illegal. That was how he worded it. We might get Alan Quinnan's thoughts on that later on. And Davy commits to Wexford was one of the other big stories of the morning. Kieran Cunningham writing here in the Star that Davy is to stay on as Wexford senior hurling manager. He says that there wasn't a great debate about it. There was a lot of chatter about him maybe taking the Galway job, and he was hinting to as much himself, in fact maybe only yesterday, but he's decided that he's staying on Wexford. The drive, he's saying, is the killer, that it's like he leaves home at 2 o'clock in the afternoon in Clare and he's not back until the best part of 12 hours later. It's a bit of a struggle for somebody who's also had his own health issues over the last couple of years, but he loves the lads, was the essentially.
Yeah, and the feeling that I would get is that the lads love him as well. I think that the panel generally, they're desperate for him to stay on for another couple of years as well, so he has signed the deal. That's the headline in the Irish Indo as well. Fitzgerald, no other county involved in my decision to stay, and it is it certainly gives Wexford a greater chance for next season. They were so close anyway to an All-Ireland final, weren't they? So it's it'd be interesting.
The Mutual Love Society, we bumped into some Wexford players at an event a bit earlier in the year, and they had no reason to be telling us that anything other than what was the reality, which was very much that they are crazy about David Fitzgerald. Do you know, there was definitely a point in his career that I thought there was a bit of the Jose Mourinho's about him, that he goes in, he knocks a couple of years out of it, the message is pretty intense, but ultimately it's difficult to continue to buy into that after a period of time. But they've obviously moved things on from a achievement point of view, and like this is it's not. He isn't Jose Mourinho.
Yeah,
it turns out.
I mean, there's a couple of quotes from him here as well. Let's read this. He actually says himself, says, "This was never about choice between Wexford and any other county. It would have broken my heart to walk away from these Wexford players, something that we spoke about earlier on. And in the end, I just couldn't do that. The problem is, it was the journey, as you saying there. That was the thing that was always going to be the mitigating factor here. But he decided to stay, and I think that certainly Wexford have embraced him, and I think it'll be another good couple of years ahead now for Wexford.
Be interesting to see. The Sun, meanwhile, celebrate this Carty's over. I'm having that headline. Is that I'm going to say it probably wasn't. The Stunning, celebrate this party's over.
Was it the Stunning? Was it?
I mean, I'm probably wrong. Somebody will get in contact. Musa will get in contact and let us know. Jack Carty learned on Tuesday that he's starting the Rugby World Cup against Japan this weekend. Athlon's finest, Kev, which I'm sure you were fully aware of. Jack Carty.
No, I didn't know that actually.
There you are, just up the road.
Yeah. No more than yourself, Adrian.
Well, a couple of good Athlone men in there now. Unfortunately, we need to get the other one back in the pitch, Robbie Henshaw.
Yeah, it's a big rugby town, isn't it?
Yeah, it was always a big football town when I was growing up. Big GA town for sure, but a massive soccer town. Yeah. Big time. Like the oldest, Athlone Town are the oldest League of Ireland club.
I didn't know that either, actually.
Yeah.
No.
It was a massive town. It was just kind of like going to rack and ruin.
Yeah.
And you'd struggle to say that it's anything other than that at the minute. But it's class having the two lads involved. So we'll see. Hopefully Jack Carty can steer the ship well this weekend. The centre backs to the wall. McCarthy's hit with injury crisis. This is the news that Shane Duffy has also picked up pretty nasty injury in the rare game that he got during the week, and that himself and Richard Keogh obviously are out. And the Stevens suspended as well. Poch Payne on the rise. Mauricio Pochettino admits that he's suffering. He continues to sort of entertain these discussions, which might be one of the most interesting things we'll talk to Kev about in a bit. And Davy's fits and starts. Gordon Manning confirming that Davy Fitz news.
Yeah, again, the Herald headline is, again, demolition derby in relation to Richard Keogh, and McCarthy faces Irish defensive nightmare after the car accident. Much of what you're talking about there, it looks like Shane Duffy will be out. We know Enda Stevens is out, and I was on last night with Nathan speaking about it. It's probably going to be 3 of the back 4 out now for the next game. We'll see how Duffy is, but it looks as though he will be out. So who starts? That's a massive problem. It looks as though it will be Long and Egan. They started against Bulgaria last month. Who's going to start at left back? This is the one thing. Is that no brainer? No brainer for who? Matt Doherty. Well, I was saying that myself before the last game, that if and when Enda Stevens, I'd give him a crack there. So it seems like a no-brainer, but it depends what Mick's looking for. If he's looking for a bit of balance on the team, but I think it is a way to get Matt Doherty in the side, and he has played there. He played there a couple of seasons ago with Wolves, as we know. So, what is that the only stumbling block to it? That's he's playing further up the pitch at club level? Is that? Well, no, he's not. But he's played it in that position. And if you'll watch Wolves yourself, Wolves do go into a back 5 at times when they don't have the ball. It is very much, when they have the ball, it's very open and expansive, and he is almost like a right winger. But so why is it not, I suppose what I'm asking is, why is it not a no-brainer? Like, his quality is undoubted. Well, it's to the other side of the pitch, isn't it? It's the left side. He hasn't played there now in a couple of seasons. He didn't play for Wolves during the Championship winning season. It was the season before that when they were in a back 4. So when they've moved to a back 5, that's a natural position where he's played at wing back. So it's very different. And is it? Yeah, it's different. It's different on one thing. Certainly, I would find, and maybe it's a left footer's one. But if I ever played on the right side of the pitch, and I just think you're immediate when you play on the right side of the pitch, everything's to your left hand side because you're looking into the field. Right shoulder, just narrows it down. It's just turning over your right shoulder was very different, because you constantly have that way. So if you're a right footer and you're playing obviously in right back position, your right shoulder is the key one for a player that's going to be running off your shoulders. So you constantly open your body up, so you can obviously see the full pitch, ball and man across the pitch. Whereas what I found when I was playing the right hand side, you have a tendency to, because you've constantly played on the other side, everything's turning over your left shoulder, so everything inside you is fine. Anything on the outside of you is something where you can get caught out. So it'd be the same for Matt Doherty flipping it the other way around, and that could be the thing. But personally, I think I would get him into the team and I'd play him there. And he's got options. We do know, as he spoke about himself, James McLean could do the job there. He was even talking about Stephen Ward coming back. That looks unlikely to me. I'd play Matt Doherty. I think he's got the quality, and I think he's played there in the past, so why not? Are you left-handed? No, I'm in the minority. Minority. I'm right foot. I'm left-handed, left-footed, right-handed.
Right.
Get it there in the end. Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, it is. It is quite. I think it is. It is a strange one. Yeah. Most obviously, you're either right and right, left and left, but the more common one is right-footed, left-handed. The least common of the four would be left-footed. So I'm told, right-handed.
There you are. Yeah. An emotional fish. Loads of people have been in touch to say that Celebrate This Party's Over is an emotional fish. Jerry Fish. Do you know Jerry Fish at the Mud Club?
Yeah. No of them, yeah.
Emotional Fish was the band.
Right, good.
Great old tune. You want to stick that on your Spotify later on?
Google that?
No, YouTubers here. Joseph Fallon.
Good man.
Christian Sullivan. Tony Fox.
Good.
More and more and more.
Yeah, sorry, I just want to think on the back of the Herald as well, Richard Keogh's column, Richard Dunn's column. I've not actually read it yet myself because, as you know, I was just...
just in the door.
I was fair, but he's saying Keogh should have more sense. Dunn is shocked by the captain's poor judgment. Now, that's the one. I know, sorry, there is another one as well I want to read out as well. It's Kevin McManaman. Kevin McManaman has backed Jim to stay. Dublin hero Kevin McManaman believes Jim Gavin will stay on in charge of Dublin when the 2020 season starts. So that's another one there. So that's something that we're looking at. But more so back to Dunny. I think Dunny coming out. It's such a difficult one because we've all done stupid things at certain stages of our life. But this one, I don't know. It's just it's a crazy one, isn't it? It's just.
Do you know what? He may be, and by all accounts seems like he is the nicest guy in the world. He's been a long and strong professional for a number of years, but he needs to be absolutely hammered for this because this is a club captain as well.
I don't know how long his contract is at Derby, but you obviously read the statement that Derby released yesterday. It was.
I mean, they'd have every grounds just to say, listen, this is over. Like, there's no tribunal in the land is going to challenge that.
It was heavy, wasn't it? It was a heavy statement. Obviously, the other two lads they couldn't really condemn because it's a legal issue because of the drink driving charge that's against them. But Richard Keogh, especially as captain, the responsibility that he's got over those younger players as well, over the club as well, to do that. It's. No, it's a mad one.
He needs to be hammered for sure. Yeah, and the interesting stuff from Ken McManaman. All right, he was in with Ger obviously during the week to talk about all that stuff about his future, and he's kind of saying that he's going to hang around for a while as well. And sure, why wouldn't he? Like there was the Bomber Liston. Bernard Brogan was also in with Off the Ball during the week. With the Super Value series, and Bomber Liston.
I saw it yesterday.
Liston picking up on the photograph of himself and Paddy there in the background.
Brilliant, yeah.
Three legends.
Oh, tremendous, yeah. Great. Got to meet Bomber on a couple of occasions in the last few months as well. Yeah, great fella.
I was talking to somebody about him during the week. I remember as a kid, like it wasn't on the Bomber Liston. Yeah. It was the most exotic thing name that you ever heard, and like he'd obviously had a playing style to match and a look to match, but like.
Where does the nickname come from?
I presume just his speed, is it?
Do you think it is? I don't know, someone might tell us that, but it's always good. It's always good.
Presuming it's nothing more sinister.
The thing that I like is when there's always a quirkiness behind some of the nicknames, and it might be something more than just his speed and how it bombs through
Bombers
players.
Watching this morning, get in touch, let us know. Yeah. The Irish Examiner, meanwhile, this is all about the rugby. Obviously, picking your fight is the headline here. Will the Brave Blossoms target Ireland or hold fire for Scotland? Then inside, there's been a subtle tweak to Ireland's game plan since Twickenham mauling. Ronan O'Gara suggesting that our offloading game. We've been freed up post the England hockey in the warm-up games. That after that, it was a bit of a reminder for Joe Schmidt that we can't continue to play that type of rugby. We're going to have to do something different. And the suggestion here that we've been a bit freer with our offloading game. So that's a suggestion from Ronan O'Gara. We'll ask Quinny about it a bit later in the show. The All-Star nominations have been revealed. Is the other story here. We might give you a quick flavour of what's going on with those. Needless to say, Dublin dominate the list, Kev. They've got 11, I should say, of the 11 of their... In fact, maybe it's more than that. Tommy's got all the details here. Yeah. 13 is what they have. I'm upgrading them here by the minute, but I'm drawing the line.
We started 5, did we?
And the nominees for the PwC All-Star Football Awards. They made it a clean sweep of nominees for the GPA Footballer of the Year Award as well for the second season in a row. Stephen Cluxton, Jack McCaffrey and Conor Callaghan.
Who do you think should be Footballer of the Year?
I think it's Stephen Cluxton for me. I think that I was sent to Tommy outside before we came in.
I would as well.
He was challenging.
It's not just a novelty thing, his age. You know, remember when the football with Ryan Giggs a few years ago? It's nothing to do with that. I think genuinely and even watching him, certainly in the two games, certainly the Mayo game and the two finals, saving a penalty, the big saves that he made, dominating.
The big saves was the thing for me, right? That he reminded people that actually he was a bloody good shot stopper.
Totally, yeah. I'm totally with you. We know how good his kicking is, and we know the percentage of kick-outs that Dublin win when he plays. But it was that shot stopping, the big one, the big save at the start of the second half. Was it the start of the second half against Kerry as well in the replay? And he made the big save, and I think Kerry were only a couple of points down at that stage. That would have been a game changer, and he did.
The save from Paul Murphy in the drawn game as well, that tips it onto the crossbar.
Exactly.
Class.
He is a class act, isn't
David Clifford, Sean O'Shea and Armaz Rian O'Neill are the young footballer nominees, and so 45 players there. As I said, 13 from Dublin, 9 from Kerry, 6 from Donegal, 4 from Mayo.
Colin Boyle.
Aidan O'Shea was in there.
I personally, I think Aidan O'Shea's had one of his best seasons, if not his best season this year. I thought Aidan was great. Paddy Durkin would be in there as well, I'd imagine.
Paddy Durkin is there, yeah. Who else have we got?
Leroy, no. No, but anyway, I just think,
Colin Boyle, as you mentioned, and Chris Barrett.
Chris Barrett, yeah.
Right, what have you got there, Kev?
Yeah, the Irish Daily Mail, again, it's going with the big headline, Keogh's crisis. Philip Quinn's done a piece of car crash injury, puts Ireland's stars career in doubt, much the same we spoke about earlier on. That is the thing, I think, more than anything. Yes, of course, club level, but the international one, given his age. And Smith sticks the boot into the ref for the Japan clash. Joe Smith has heaped pressure on referee Angus Gardner ahead of tomorrow's clash with Japan. He said the Ireland coach told how it's incredibly frustrating with some of Gardner's decisions, and were the last time he officiated an Ireland game. So this is what we're looking at here for Joe, putting pressure on referees already. Yeah,
he's putting it back on them. Ireland can control Japan side swingy from the hip, writes Jerry Thornley here in the Irish Times this morning, and a good shot at the scrum, Cian Healy particularly, and whether he's stepping to the left or not, I've never heard such deep conversations about that. That's Jerry Thornley. Liam Toland as well in the Irish Times. You've got the Mirror, Kev?
Yeah, the Mirror blow for Euro hopes again. Keogh and Duffy, a major doubt as McCarthy faces up to problems in defence. That's Paul O'Hare writing there today as well. And again, Cluxton may complete the set this time, just in relation to Stephen Cluxton's nomination for Player of the Year. Yep, so.
Okay, we're going to come back to some of the rest of those papers in just a little bit. Before that, I do want to let you know that all this week on OTB AM, with thanks to Expert Electrical, we've been giving you the chance to win a top-of-the-range LG 55-inch OLED TV, and in your very last chance to enter this morning, you need to share the OTB AM stream wherever it is that you're watching, and tell us who won the 1995 Rugby World Cup. And we've gathered up all of your entries. We're going to be selecting a winner at random at 9:30. So that's that competition. We'll give you a reminder of it as well before we leave you a little bit later this morning.
I watched a bit of that World Cup when I was away. My first trip away at any stage.
Where were you?
Magaluf.
All right. Yeah. Oh, it was like a lad's trip away, but I thought you were right.
I was only 18. I think it was my first ever trip abroad. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
But
you remember almost none of it, is what you're saying?
I remember sat in a bar watching the Rugby World Cup. Yeah.
Could be doing worse things.